What up, bitches? Today I was going to have a video on custom and blank loadout cards and how to add them to your game files, but it's going to take me like another day before it's ready enough to the point where I'll upload it and be satisfied with what it is. So instead I wanted to talk to you guys. Oh, how sweet, right? About a couple things. I don't really think that I communicate that well or that often, and there's something very therapeutic about writing down my thoughts in a coherent manner and being able to get some things off my chest. So first off, I'm sure you've no doubt noticed how few videos I've been posting recently, and despite my saying that I'm actually going to be uploading more regularly, which in itself was more so meant to be a motivator for me to actually make videos rather than just to keep you all anticipating more content, and I realize that isn't fair since I've fallen through each time that I've said that, so I owe you all an explanation as to why that is. Aside from the obvious laziness that's associated with the lack of content creation, I just don't feel inspired to upload like I used to. Before, I had a lot of fun uploading the random things like the Level Up series, covering news regarding Dirty Bomb, explaining events or how certain aspects of the game worked, and of course the infamous rant videos, but lately it's just been absolutely boring for me. I said in my first ever rant video that I would continue to play Dirty Bomb until it dies, but I feel like that's changed. Actually, that video is what helped me to get recognized as a figurehead by the community and the devs in the first place. I think if it wasn't for Zyfurian, who tweeted my video at the devs, and MuzT for posting it on the Dirty Bomb subreddit, that I wouldn't be as big as I am right now uploading only Dirty Bomb. But I've been playing Dirty Bomb for a long time now. I have nearly 1,000 hours clocked in on this game, and after I purchased each of the mercs, the only thing I had left to do was farm credits, buy cases, and craft loadouts. And then the new crafting system came. I distinctly remember that time too. I was coming home after spending a week visiting one of my friends out of town, and then I logged on to the PTS forums to see if there's anything new. And I had already made suggestions on some things that I thought could improve the current crafting system, or the previous crafting system now, I guess. So when I saw the title of the thread relating to a new crafting system, I got a little excited, but once I opened it and read what was actually posted, I actually became so angry that I actually felt sick. I said actually a lot in that sentence. I realized that. But it immediately turned me off, and I did my best to explain my side on why I thought it was such a horrible system and should be reworked. I talk more about that in this video, if you want to check that out. But unfortunately my words fell on deaf ears, and to my surprise they actually made the values even higher than what was originally posted, so I was extremely disappointed with how the whole thing was handled, especially because nothing was said to the public about it at all until they put it live and everybody just had to find out for themselves. No one outside of the PTS knew anything about what was coming, and even though myself and a few other individuals were adamant about how bad of an idea it was, they released it anyways, saying nothing more than, "We truly believe that this is the right decision for Dirty Bomb." Well, it wasn't until months after, when they made a discounted crafting week, that they decided to fess up and admit that the system wasn't as flawless as they originally thought. They stated that they planned on reworking the system to make it more appealing, and I even made a video giving some suggestions that would incorporate both the old and the new systems into one, and the comments on that video had some great suggestions as well. But it's been a few months and we still haven't heard anything. Hell, how long has it been since we heard anything about Dockyard? Actually, let me rephrase that. How many times have they hyped up Dockyard, and yet we still haven't seen anything about it? No playtests, no actual proof that they're even working on it outside of the occasional mention in a dev video or live stream. I remember when the biggest gripe people had with Dirty Bomb outside of the slow development process was the lack of communication or transparency from the devs, and they tried making a Tumblr, that didn't really work, and then they started uploading weekly to their official YouTube page. And now at first it doesn't really seem that harmful, and in fact it probably really isn't, but this is a little bit of a rant video, so let me just bring some things up just for the sake of argument. First of all, I have nothing against Shu. I think he's a great guy, very charismatic, and good at what he does, but even he's probably bored of covering the same thing every week. I mean, it took them 6 videos and 6 weeks to explain to us that we were going to be getting map improvements and that the most common in-game issues were performance and lack of match balance. But speaking of match balance, they must say at the end of every single video that they're working on casual matchmaking, but really, where is it? I mean, we have had a few public CMM tests in the past, but if they're still working on it and the biggest problems with the system was that it couldn't handle the workload of grouping together the amount of players who were trying to queue together, you would think that they would spend a few days in the lab working on it and then put out another test, see what the issue then is, go back to the lab, do another test, and then see what the issues are at that point and repeat. But instead we get this constant circle jerking and beating around the bush every week instead of actually telling us what the fuck is going on. There's only so many times that you can tell us what to expect without actually letting us see it for ourselves before we start losing faith. But besides that, I want to raise a suggestion, just, something that might help aid both the development process and giving the community what they want. A public test server. Not a private test server, a public one. Now, I'm not saying to get rid of the private test server completely. That should still be reserved for things like event testing, where the general public will still have to be kept in anticipation for what it might be. But for general things, like bug testing or balance changes, because currently I think there are too few people in the PTS to properly and accurately QA test these things, but that's probably just for the very few minor things that are left. Because granted, there aren't many major bugs that make it into the live game, but still, I think if more people were around to help out, the game's development could be improved significantly, although that would also involve some work on Splash Damage's part to put out updates faster than at a snail's pace. Or at a turtle's pace. Get it? Please kill me. One of the things that I was heavily disappointed with recently was the piss poor excuse for an event that we got this year. I mean, at least it's something, but I just think the Christmas event could have been improved significantly with such a little amount of more effort. The free equipment case per day is basically a slap in the face, and the trinkets would have honestly been fine if they actually came along with something besides just themselves. As it stands, trinkets are only viewable to the person who owns them, unless you count spectating a viable way to show off your trinkets, in which case you should just stop thinking that. But the only reason to collect a trinket at this point is to stroke yourself or have your kills in the kill feed be highlighted, and I think the dumbest thing about that is that the kill feed flare doesn't even last that long. Nobody fucking notices that shit. It's up there for half a second, which is just enough time for you to look at the kill feed right after you kill somebody and touch yourself, which is nowhere near enough time to get off unless you're one of these splash damage apologists who are constantly on their knees sucking SD's dick saying stupid shit like,
"Ugh, but they just work so hard on squashing bugs, and they just released updates to each of the maps. They didn't even have time to make this event as good as they wanted it. God."
I mean, really, tell me how hard it would have been to add crafting discounts for Christmas week, or how much time it would have taken to re-release last year's What the Dickin' event skins. Hell, it shouldn't have even taken more than one workday to convert them from Generation 2 into Generation 2, even though we would have been fine with first gen anyways. It shouldn't have taken that long as they had their priorities straight. Honestly, I don't know where their priorities lie. I mean, at this point, they're basically the Sega of free-to-play FPS games.
Welcome to Splash Damage. We make games, I think. Aye, right. What the fuck is a turtle?
Now, clearly, I'm not a game developer or a studio, so I'm really just talking out of my ass at this point, but I really don't see the difficulty in switching the first-gen What the Dickens cards images with second edition augments, and then attaching the skins which are already made to them. And if that was really too much work, I really don't see the difficulty in coding in something like the chance for Arsenal crates to drop after a match, or anything besides an abysmal increase to the chance of golds dropping out of a once-per-day equipment case. I mean, okay, let's just take a moment to look at the statistics of this for a moment. You have a 2.3% chance to get a gold loadout out of these cases, which is roughly a 1 in 44 chance. The event only lasts for 28 days. That means the odds are actually against you if you planned on receiving a gold card from these wastes of coding time. Now do you see why I said these cases are a slap in the face? It's ridiculous the amount of effort, or lack thereof, that went into planning this fucking stupid event. I want to say that more effort went into making the promotional video for this event than the actual event itself. It's humiliating. And the reason I'm so angry is because I have an outsider's perspective who is able to peep into the developers' minds periodically via the PTS forums, which have been down, by the way, for about a few weeks now. I don't know if they banned me or if the site is actually undergoing maintenance, but if they take as much time renovating a website as they do making content, it probably won't be back up for another few months. That's just me talking shit for the sake of talking shit at this point, though, so if you couldn't tell, I'm very tired of playing this game. Which brings me back to the original point of this video. While I have a ton of ideas for videos and discussions that I think you guys would love, or at the very least enjoy, I just don't have the inspiration to cover this game anymore. And I'm about to bring up a very piss poor argument which I've heard said behind my back on a few occasions, but apparently it's been said that the content I make is clickbait and I only upload things to make that sweet YouTube money, yo. Okay, let me be perfectly clear. If I only cared about uploading for views and money, don't you think I would upload more than just once a month? If that? I don't know, call me crazy, but I thought the whole point of uploading only for views and cash was to upload as little effort content as possible, as often as possible. Not scrapping entire projects when they're 75% finished just because I think it's disinteresting or not good enough. I used to upload because I wanted to entertain people, I wanted to help some people too, so I made tutorial videos. My first video ever made was a tutorial. That's how I started out. Granted, they were for RuneScape, and I was fucking atrocious at making videos back then. God, if you want to cringe at something, go watch my first 2 videos ever made. They were slow, quiet, recorded without scripts, and I had such little self-confidence in my ability to perform in front of a microphone that the information in them probably really didn't matter because they would probably put you to sleep anyways. The funny thing is, they were actually quite successful. Even in those shitty little RuneScape tutorial videos, I tried to make it as informative and entertaining as I could, and I actually deleted a lot of the tutorial videos I did make for that game, which did really well, just because I winced at a 5-second long clip and a 7-minute long video. The only reason I hadn't deleted those first 2 videos was because I wanted to be able to go back and see how far I'd come one day. I think I'm doing pretty good. Also, it completely skipped my mind that I could have set those other videos to private instead of actually deleting them, but oh well. Anyways, I'm getting horribly off track now, but the main point I want to make here is that I'm no longer having fun making videos. It's not about the views. I don't care about that as much as you think, even though I do consider any of my videos to be a failure if it doesn't reach at least 1,000 views, but my standards have risen as well due to my subscriber count continuously rising. And I'm almost at 6,000 subs and I'm hardly ever uploading. But, I mean, half my subscriber base is probably from RuneScape 2, mind you, but still. I think the biggest reason I haven't been uploading, besides my complete lack of interest in Dirty Bomb, is that I want every video to be perfect. I've got some really shitty videos that I've made in the past and I regret uploading them because on one hand, I think that my viewers will be happy to see a new video from me, but on the other hand, I feel like I've let them down because it wasn't good, you know? I'm afraid of uploading anything other than Dirty Bomb at this point too, because even with all the support I do get from you guys telling me to upload whenever and whatever type of games or videos I want, I know that my analytics are going to go down too, so I guess in a way I'm kind of scared of trying new things, and that's a very big thing that's holding me back. I know this was a very long video, so if you made it this far, then goddamn dude, I think I love you. I haven't recorded it yet, I'm just writing the script right now. But I'll bet it's probably going to be a 15 to 20 minute video. Oh god, that's a lot of commentary to record. Wait, why am I reading this off the script? That was a lot of commentary to record. Anyways, breaking the 4th wall here. Or the 5th wall? I guess if I'm talking to you directly, it's already breaking the 4th wall. Whatever, gonna go now. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, as always, stay awesome, bros. I mean, take care, everyone. Honestly, I don't know where their priorities lie, and at this point they're basically the Sega of free-to-play FPS games. I can't even say that joke with a straight face. And at this point they're basically the Sega. Oh, the jokes are too strong. I can't even start reading it now because I just keep laughing. Honestly, I don't know where their priorities do lie. At this point they're basically the Sega of free-to-play FPS games. Oh my god, I don't know why that joke is so fucking funny, but it's so fucking funny. Okay, get it together.